Welcome everyone to Pipefitters Local 597, Basys Employer XG. This software will allow you to do your remittances of general contractor funds and 401k contributions online, thus saving you time. I'm Ginny Floriday, and in this brief session, you will learn the shortcuts of navigating the screens. Let's start by investigating the columns options. I will be using the remittances on the Home tab for several of the samples. The examples you see on this screen are consistent throughout the program. At the right edge of each column, a combo or drop-down arrow appears whenever you hover over the column label. Each column in most screens will have these options: sort ascending and descending, columns, and filters. Let's talk about sorting. First, you pick the column you want to dictate how the data is arranged. I'm going to start with the due date. Clicking on Sort Ascending will make the oldest due date appear at the top. Sorting on Descending does just the opposite. And don't worry, when you do a sort, the entire row will be sorted, not just the column you are in. Now let's try ref number. Sorting Ascending puts the lowest letter number combination at the top of the list. Descending does the opposite. You will see that rearranging the rows makes it easier to find your data. Let's move on to columns. I can pick any one of the headers and go to columns, and it will show you all of the columns that you have as options to view. Perhaps you don't need to see the work period displayed. Just click over where work period resides on the shortcut menu and click it off. By moving your mouse and clicking back on the data list, work period is no longer visible. How do you turn it back on again? Go to any column header, go to columns, find the one that you turned off, you'll note it's unchecked, and check it again. Once again, moving off of the shortcut menu, clicking back on the data list turns off that menu. On to filters. This option is a hidden secret. Filters allow you to hide the rows that you aren't using. For instance, if you are submitting a 401k payment, then you can set the filter to 401 and all the general contractor information is hidden. Watch. I'll click on the combo, I'll go down to filters, move over to the text box, and as soon as I type 401, anything without 401 in it will be hidden. You will see a lightning bolt next to the column label to let you know that you have a filter activated. This is important because otherwise you might think you lost some records. To redisplay the hidden records, just click on the column with the lightning bolt, go down to filters, and uncheck the filter box. You'll notice that the 401 doesn't go away. This is so that you can turn the filter back on the next time you need it. That covers all the column options. Now let's take a quick look at page navigation. At the bottom of your screen, you will see the page navigation options. Several of the icons are probably familiar, but I will review them. I'm on page 1 of 2 pages. Here's my next icon, moves me to the next page. This takes me to the previous page. If I had 20 pages, this would take me to the last page. And this always takes me to the first page. Those are the customary movements. But did you know that if you had a large document, you could type the page number you wanted to go to and it would take you there immediately? I only have 2 pages, so I'll type a number 2. When I hit enter, it moves me there. The last option I want to show you is the refresh option. Let's look at updating your screen when changes have been made and they aren't displayed. Simply click on the refresh button for the most current reflection of your data. While we are on this screen, don't forget to read the news and information block on the right-hand side. Software updates, as well as how to access help with the software, are posted here. Use the scroll bar to move to the bottom of the block. The final area of navigation are the sub-screen movement options. Let's open one of the remittances. Let's look at G70893. It is in progress. This means the remittance has been started but not submitted. By doing a single click on the In Progress hyperlink, it will open up my detailed form. Once the form is opened, you will need to scroll to the bottom of the screen using the scroll bar on the right-hand side of the screen. Now you can see the movement options. Let's talk about the back button. The first time you click the back button, it takes you to the previous screen, which in this instance is the top of the form. To exit this form without making any changes, I will click back again And as you can see, it's taking us back to the Home tab, the General Remittances form. And G70893 has not been changed. Let's click on it again and look at some of the other icons on the bottom of that screen. Once again, I use my scroll bar to move to the bottom of the screen. I'd like to skip over to Export before I tell you about Delete and Add to Cart. This is a very nice feature of Basys. If this is chosen, an Excel file will be created showing all of the individual remittance information. The Excel file will reside in your Downloads folder. It will have a CSV extension. If you double-click on it, Excel will automatically open it. Be sure to do a File Save As if you do any formatting of the document. The CSV file format is a plain, comma-separated values display. Let's click on it and see what happens. After clicking on it, the name of the file it's exported to will appear in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen. If I click on the arrow pointing upwards, it will allow me to open the file. I'm going to show it in the folder for you so you can see that it will automatically download it to your folder that's called Downloads. Here's the file. I'll double-click to open it, and you'll see that even though it doesn't have an XLS extension, Excel will open it for you automatically. Here's the file with the detailed records from inside of our form. If I slide my arrow across the top of the letter headings and double-click on one edge of any of those columns, it will show me the information that was stored in there. If I go to close it, it says you want to save. If I say save, it's a good idea to click on the Save As box and click on Excel Workbook and then do a save. I now have two versions of the file. Let's close this down and go back into Basys. So on the bottom of the screen, we've now worked with Back and Export. The next one I'd like to work with is Add to Cart. If I click on this and I do a Proceed to Cart, it will take me over to the area right up here so that I can make a payment. If I click on Return Home to complete additional remittances, this line item in the main screen will say Cart. Let's click on Return Home to complete additional remittances. And here it is. It now says In Cart. Clicking on the number 1 next to the cart opens up that cart and shows me the remittance. What I'm going to do right now is remove it from the cart. We'll talk more about editing and working with the cart in a future session. By removing it from the cart, when we go back to the main remittances screen, we will see that it's back in progress again. This lets me go back in here one more time to introduce you to the delete option. I'll scroll back down to the bottom of the screen. If I click on delete, it says, are you sure you want to delete this remittance? If I say yes, this remittance will be gone. I will say no right now so that it doesn't disappear. And I will hit back to enter the Home tab once again. Notice on the right-hand side that all submitted references will appear in a small window. They will also appear in the History window, which we will investigate in a future session. You have now seen all of the various movement options inside of Basys. That completes our session on maneuvering in Basys. What's next? Working with remittances. If you have questions, please contact Laura. I hope you all feel more comfortable with getting around in Basys XG. Thanks for taking the time to watch this module.